Hey y'all, welcome to the stream. I am low-key obsessed with that little rubber ducky song that we play as the intro. So obsessed, it's such a vibe. Hey, welcome to the stream. Today we're gonna be hacking with agent mode. Honestly, agent mode has kind of become my bestie in my workflow, and so excited to build with it. Okay, the music is kind of distracting me, so let me turn it off. Let me pause it. Hi everyone. Let me know what you're working on. This is a very chill co-working type session. Today I'm hoping to show you how you can kind of build your own type of personal apps using Copilot agent mode. So I've been having a lot of fun just building simple little personal apps that I need and use every single day. And today I want to get out a like a UTM link tracker. So I have a newsletter, and I like to just make sure that the folks, when people are clicking on links in my newsletter, people know that it came from me. It's that lady Dev. And so a lot of the UTM link trackers on the web is so many ads. It's so many ads. It's so cluttered, and I cannot focus. So I figured I should build one. I should build one with agent mode. Okay, so let's see what we have here. If I'm looking this way, it's because I have two screens and you're over here, and my screen is right here. So hi, Miss K. Hey. So trying to decide on the next task to tackle. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that a lot. Sometimes I get so excited by projects, I don't even know where to start. Hey, are you a dancer? Funnily enough, I used to dance in high school. In high school, I grew up in Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. Wagwan Jamaicans in the crowd. But I grew up in Jamaica, and in high school, I was in performing arts. That's what we called theater, the theater performing arts. And so singing, dancing, acting, all that jazz. So it's no wonder I do this for work, right? It's no wonder that talking and having a good time is my job. Love the duck. Honestly, me too. And I have a few duckies of my own that I have in my office. It rubber duck debugging is truly a thing. Okay, so you're working on a simple to-do list with Python and Flask. Ooh, I love that. Love that so much. That's a really, really good project. And actually, this brings me to something that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Hi. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Cassidy. Cassidy, that's my manager. That's my boss. Hey, Cassidy. Welcome to the stream. Copilot interpretive dance. When literally, I feel like the Rubber Ducky song brings out the interpretive dances. Honestly, but let's go back to this working on a simple to-do list. And I want to share with you some ships that we just did on the blog and a Flask and Python project that we recently shipped this week in our series. So on the blog, what's new? So what's new on the blog is I'm going to open this in a new tab so I don't forget to mention that. So on the blog, we have from MCP to multi-agents, the top 10 new open source AI projects on GitHub. Ooh, this is a really good read. So go ahead and check this out. I'll pop the link to the blog in the chat. It's going to be a very long linky, but if you go to, blog github.blog or blog.github.com, this will pop up right there. This looks very interesting. I'm curious to see what the top projects are and how we can kind of use them. Definitely going to table this for later. So make sure you go read that. What else did we ship this week? From MPC. So, you can see a theme of MPC on the blog. From MPC to multi-agents, the top 10 new open source AI projects. Oh, I feel like I just clicked that one. Okay. Cutting through the noise, how to prioritize Dependabot alerts. Listen, who wrote this? Andrea. Yep, my girl Andrea and Carlin. Okay. If you don't like the noise of Dependabot, tap into this blog post. It's gonna help you a lot. I'm just 100% certain because anything Andrea writes is amazing. And new ships from moi. So we have a series called GitHub for Beginners, and literally it's walking you through, if you're brand new to GitHub and brand new to GitHub Copilot, we walk you through from beginning to end on how to use GitHub and how to use GitHub Copilot. And so this week we shipped a blog post and a video on YouTube, building a REST API with Copilot. And the reason I said about the to-do list with Python and Flask is because we used Flask and Python to do this one with SQLite on the back end. So yeah, so we built it with Flask. We use SQL Alchemy. And we implemented JWTs. It's a full CRUD build, and people have actually been liking the video. So I'm very happy about that because this means that we can do more videos like this. So definitely check out this blog post if you want to learn how to build with Copilot. And so these are the top ships I'm seeing on here. I'm not going to go any further because I can talk about the blog all day and we're already going from time. Okay, let's see what comments are saying. Hello. I've been working on a front-end framework for the last few weeks. Oh, tell me more. You coming out with a brand new JavaScript framework? Listen. All right, so that's kind of what's new with the blog. Hi, welcome everyone. So let's go to what I kind of want to build today. So initially I was going to build a project that was like called a dev letter where you choose a dev tool and then an AI agent generated like a nice little love letter to developers. And while I still want to build that, and I think it's actually going to be fun, I actually want to build something useful. So because I didn't know, let me start from the beginning. Because I didn't know what to build, I went into Copilot on github.com and I literally said an hour ago, I'm doing a live stream in an hour and I don't know what to build. I'm to build a project with agent mode and I want to use Astro. What should I build? And if you want to build something and you don't know what to build something, AI is really good at unblocking you and giving you ideas. And so Copilot gave me all these ideas, and I'm using the GPT 4.0 model here, but you can choose whichever model you want to use from here. And it says document generator, personalize. And I mean, any of these would have been really fun and really great to build, but I wasn't personally invested in it. And then I said, what about a dev love letter generator, right? Because that sounded fun. And it was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Here's a plan. And then I landed on it. I said, oh, actually, I do need a UTM link tracker app. And that's kind of what I want us to focus on today. And so it said, hey, here's a project plan of what this app could look like. And I actually really, really like this. And you can create UTM links. So UTM link tracker is essentially like if you're going to refer a product or a service to someone, you can make sure that the business know that you referred it, because when they look at their analytics, they're going to see your name there. So if your name is Mary, they're going to see that Mary referred it. I am It's That Lady Dev online, so they'll see that It's That Lady Dev referred it from her email or from her blog or from wherever. You know what I mean? So this is kind of very important, tracking information for analytics. So that's what we're going to build today. What do you think about that? Hopefully you like that idea. Okay, so Copilot gave me a plan here, and I love using Copilot on github.com to kind of generate project plans for me, and I can go back and ask it to iterate or, change different things. Gave me a tech stack. Definitely will be using Astro today. I love me some Astro. The database today, we're going to just use local storage to keep things kind of focused on the front end and the implementation side of things. It gave us a file structure. And it also gave me a live stream build plan. Amazing. I didn't see that. Okay. Now I ask it, okay, can you write this in Markdown format for the README? So I kind of want to take this plan and pop it into the README of the project. And boom, there it is. It gave me the code, and then I can also see the preview of what the Markdown will look like. I love this feature. Have you ever used Copilot on github.com? It's really amazing. It's really amazing. Honestly, I'm not even kidding. It's really amazing. And so now I can copy this, and let me actually go full screen so I can easily go back and forth between screens. And I copied it and I kind of just popped it into my code editor. Hopefully you can see this fine. Let me know. Let me know if I need to zoom in a little bit more. I did that a little bit more for you right there. Okay, so this is exactly what I needed to help me plan. Exactly. Copilot is really good at helping you just like kind of get out of your head and focus on the idea that you want to build. So if you want to build something or you don't know what you want to build, give it a general idea of what you're thinking and have a conversation. Have a conversation with Copilot, and it will help you to generate a plan for your project. And so now, something that you can add to GitHub Copilot are Copilot instructions. And Copilot instructions allow you to get kind of better results when you're using GitHub Copilot in agent, edit, or chat mode. It just tells the agent what you want your project to look like and how you want it to kind of work. So I kind of want to generate a custom instruction for this project. So I'm going to come back here and hopefully Copilot doesn't fail me. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say, help me craft a custom instruction to provide to GitHub Copilot in VS Code. And I'm going to be very explicit in this prompt to tell it exactly where I want this custom instruction, because I don't want it to misinterpret what I'm saying. I think this is clear. Do you think this is clear? I think it's clear. Let's see what we get. And I'm just going to keep the default 4.0 model that I had here. Exactly. That's exactly what I was looking for. And so do you see how quickly I'm like moving through this project? Okay. So custom instruction for GitHub Copilot. Coding style preferences. Very important to add into a custom instruction file. Documentation and comments, how to handle that. Project specific context, code efficiency, testing, tailored suggestions, error handling. This is a lot Tone and communication use a friendly, collaborative tone when suggesting ideas or improvement. I actually really like this, even though I do find Copilot is already friendly and collaborative. So I'm going to copy this. I may not use all of it, but from here, you can go in and you can iterate on the prompt. So you can like take this, put it in your editor. Let's pop it into our code editor. So to create a custom instruction, you need at the root of your project, create a new GitHub folder and then create a new file. And I believe it's called custom-instructions. And it's a markdown file. Let me just verify on the Copilot instructions.md. So not custom, but copilot-instructions.md. Copilot-instructions.md. Great. And we're just gonna paste this in here. Now, if I'm working on a new feature, ask clarifying questions about the requirements or constraints before generating code, provide multiple solution options, or explain the trade-offs when applicable. Do we need to have that one? Error handling, tailored suggestions, code efficiency. We're going to leave it as is, but you can go in and you can, expand and fix whatever you don't like and add new instructions if you want. But this is going to allow you to get really good output from GitHub Copilot in agent mode, edit mode, and chat mode. And today, maybe we're going to be vacillating between the three, but let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. And so for now, I'm just going to go ahead and stage and commit. That's kind of been my mantra for developers lately because I'm seeing too many of you lose work. I'm seeing too many of you using AI to build products and then you lose your work because you didn't stage and commit. Always stage and commit. Git is still very important in the AI age. Now that we have our instructions and now that we have our README, we have a pretty solid base to start from, right? So I have a pretty basic Astro app running here. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on setup during the stream, so I made sure to just have that running. Oh, let me check the comments and see what you're saying. And it's nothing crazy. It's just welcome to Rubber Duck Thursday. This is the app that we have currently. So let's see. This is exactly what I need to plan. Yep, you're welcome. What are we cooking tonight? So today we're building a UTM link tracker. I have a newsletter and I always need to track links, but the current UTM link tracker is online. Let me just show you one actually. So you have a kind of a reference what I'm talking about. They always have just like so many ads, like pop-ups. This one doesn't seem too bad, but this is kind of what I want us to build, a UTM builder. So I can put in the website URL. This way people will know that, hey, this came from me. Okay. So if you wanna do something together, let's go. So this is kind of what I want us to build. So that's what we're cooking tonight or today. You know what it's that file? You know what it's that file for? Can you ask this question again just so I understand? It's magic. It would be nice if there was a standardized file for LLM instructions, though I suppose most agents should be smart enough to think, let me read what's in the Copilot file. Yeah, I think instructions it's going to be product or tool specific. And so for us, we call it Copilot instructions. I'm not sure what other tools called their instruction file, but yeah, I do agree that I wish there was a standardized way to do LLM instructions, which is kind of why I love MCP because things are starting to become standardized, right? I'm still working on learning. I'm still working on that Git learning curve. Yeah, and we have a full series on YouTube called GitHub for Beginners. Go to season 1 and watch and read all those videos and blogs, and I promise you will learn a lot because we did a very good job of like breaking things down for beginners. Okay, so awesome. Me too. Great to see a pro at work. Oh, a pro? Is that me? Your newsletter is the best. Oh, thank you. Thank you for reading. Okay, so let's get back to the project. So this is what we have, and we're on localhost 4321, right? So let's see if we can build our UTM tracker. So of course, I'm going to open up. What am I going to open up? Agent mode, you know, agent mode. And Claude 3.5 Sonnet has been my favorite model, primarily because it doesn't use a lot of tokens. I find it very good for everyday coding. And whenever I use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, so much tokens are used. And I find that it doesn't make the like the completions that I get within whatever tier I am on GitHub long lasting. And so that's a tip for you, right? So the model that you choose to use is very important because it's going to allow you to not just code, but to also expand the lifespan of your tier that you have with Copilot. If you're on the free tier, I promise you it can last all month. Just be careful and choose your models wisely. I know we all want to use the latest and greatest, but sometimes we have to, go with what works. I do find that Gemini 2.5 Pro is a great model to start with. So we're going to start with Gemini 2.5 Pro. Honestly, it's really good at coding, but I do like to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, so we may go back to Claude, honestly. So I'm going to have the README open, even though I really don't have to. And I want to start with a prompt, but what do I prompt? How do you know to craft a prompt? I like to go back to my AI. I like to go back to my AI and say, hey, can you help me craft a prompt? Here's what I'm trying to do. So let's go back to, let me close this one. Yeah, let's go back to Copilot on github.com. And I want to say, help me craft prompts to use to build this app with agent mode in VS Code, right? So I want to start with building out the initial UI. Give me a prompt for that. This is kind of how I talk. And I find that just talking naturally, a la natural language, I get pretty good results. So questions. Do you have the recording? I'm late to join. Yes, this is being recorded. You can watch it on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and yeah, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn after the stream. No problem there. Where can I learn to set up GitHub repositories in my VS Code? I got you. I got you. Go on YouTube and search for GitHub for Beginners. Okay, go on YouTube, go to the GitHub channel, just a little beat, and then we're going to focus on the project solely because I can see that my brain is going all over the place, and I don't know how that works for you, but for me, this is just how the brain doodles. So you're going to go on GitHub, you're going to come to our page, go on YouTube, go to GitHub page, and then if you scroll down, you'll see GitHub for Beginners. And who is this? It's me. Oh my gosh, that's my face. I'm kidding, but it is. It is. And in GitHub for Beginners, we teach you how to create your first repository, and we do use VS Code. We teach you how to create your first pull request, an introduction to Git. All the learnings are here for you to do. And also, we teach you how to prompt like a pro. We have Copilot Essentials, Copilot Tutorial, all that jazz. Okay, a lot of work and a lot of effort went into this to make it great for you. So be sure to check it out. That's where you can go, Jennifer. And there are blogs that accompany each episode, which is excellent. Okay, let's go back to the project. For real, for real, for real, for real. Let me just, because why is it doing that? Okay, so here's a prompt for building the initial UI. How many of you, honestly, let me know in the comments, how many of you would have written a prompt that's this long and this detailed? I know I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. I would not have written a prompt that this long and this detailed. And so this is why I like to go to the AI tools and say, hey, help me craft a prompt that I can use to build my project. I copy the prompt. Sometimes I say thank you. I often say thank you. I go to my code editor and boop, I pop in the prompt. And we're going to use Gemini 2.5 Pro to start in agent mode. And cross your fingers and toes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we get with this huge prompt, because we're asking it to do quite a few things on the first go, but boop, let's see what we get. If it doesn't work, you know, it's fine. We'll just start over. If it does work, that's also fine because that would be so impressive. So impressive. While this is running, let's take a look at the comments again. Oh, so there's spam somewhere. Sorry, I'm not seeing the spam. Uh, oh, I can like do this. So I think I pressed the button to do something like delete the comment or something. Okay, so does anyone know how to obtain the complete types VS Code package content when building an extension? Please. When building a VS Code extension, can you clarify? Hey, I guess this is going to spam the chat. My favorite workflow for creating new repositories is to make a local Git repo, do at least one commit, then use the GitHub CLI to create a remote repo and set up remotes all with one command. Love that. I also love to do it that way too. I find it, so much easier, a much smoother flow. Perfect. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Jennifer. Happy learning. Okay, let's see. Question. Since the prompt was generated by AI as well, shouldn't that generally mean your original prompt was good enough anyway? This is an excellent question. So sometimes I find that, so let me go back here. I love this question. So help me craft prompts to use to build this app with agent mode in VS Code. I want to start building out the initial UI. Give me a prompt for that. So the question is, isn't this prompt good enough to just start building with? And it's like yes and no, right? So yes, because if I told Copilot, hey, I want to build the initial UI, go ahead and do it. Based on the Copilot instructions and based on the contents in the README, that project plan in the README, I think it could have given us something, right? But because I wanted it to give me something a bit more hefty on the first go, I didn't want to spend time writing out this entire prompt initially. And so I had AI do that for me. So it's like, yes, it's good enough, but I wanted it to be a little bit more robust and I didn't want to spend the time writing out all this is the truth. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me know. Okay. Love this question. I get this a lot on my social media as well because I post on social media, Twitter, not Twitter, but Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. And somebody always asks me, hey, you should use Cursor. Listen, I am a VS Code and Copilot girly through and through. Okay. I love me some VS Code and I love me some GitHub Copilot. Do you know why? As a developer, I don't want to spend time learning another new tool. I've been using VS Code for like what, 6 to 8 years, and I've been using GitHub Copilot for 3 years ever since it came out. So like I know how these tools work, and so I use it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Cursor is just VS Code with makeup. Oh, I mean, I know that Cursor is a fork of VS Code and then they have their own layer, but we're not going to talk about Cursor today. Okay, guys, we're talking about Copilot in agent mode. So let me go back to the code before I get too sidetracked and see what we have. So index.astro was changed and we have quite a bit of code. So let's see, because it's going to tell us what it did. So just to remind you, this is the prompt I sent, this prompt that I got from GitHub Copilot. And it says, okay, I can create the initial UI structure within Astro index.astro. So it went into my workspace. It found the file that it needs to go into to create this UI, and then it's going to do it. It read this file, and this file. I love that it tells us exactly what it's doing. It's kind of like pseudocoding, right? And we're using Tailwind as well for styling in this app. You know, you use what's available, the latest thing. So I've updated index.astro with initial HTML structure for the UTM link tracker, styled in Tailwind, a form, a preview area, a table. So I'm gonna, vibe code YOLO, hit keep on everything. Boop. Let's go to this. Look at that. Look at this. from that one prompt. And so this is kind of what I meant when I said that yes, my prompt was good enough, but also no, because I kind of wanted it to build this on the first go. And this is why I went to copiloton.com to say, hey, can you help me craft a prompt to build the initial UI? Because I wanted it to be very detailed, very specific, so I can get results like this. So I think it's like three things why the result was this good on the first go. Because how often does your code work on the first try? Very rarely, right? And so I think the first thing that made this work really well are the Copilot instructions, right? And as you can see here, GitHub Copilot is referencing the Copilot instructions here, right? So we spent time asking copiloton.com to generate some Copilot instructions for us. And I think that's why this worked on the first go. The second thing is we had a very detailed README that told us about what the project is doing. And the agent is actually also going to, reference the README file, right? And also the third thing that we did was we had a very, very really good and really specific prompt to build out the initial UI. And this is why I think we had such a really good result. YOLO flow, YOLO FTW, for personal projects, I I don't think, I think YOLO is great. Use AI to build personal projects is my goal. So let's see if this works, right? So you can see the preview here. You can copy it to your clipboard, generate the link, and then it has some examples here. This is really good, really amazing. Wow, I love it. I love it so much. So for example, if I wanted to, since I'm on YouTube, I'm just gonna stay here and I'm gonna copy this one. Copy link address. Let's go back to our UTM link tracker. And this is going to be the base URL. So let's say the medium is an email, UTM term. It can be like learn Git. UTM source is going to be the newsletter. The campaign is just going to be, I'm just going to put like it's that lady dev. UTM content. The content is a YouTube video, so I'm just going to put video. This is, very detailed, but it's optional. And if I hit generate link, does it work? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I'm going to go back, boop, and I'm going to say, okay, when I fill in all, oh, before we do that, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Stage and commit, because this UI actually looks really good. Boop. And this is how easy it is to do git commit these days. GitHub Copilot can do that for you as well. Commit. Now your work is saved. So in case anything goes wrong in the second go around, you're all good, right? So I'm going to say, when I click generate, generate link, it does nothing, right? Honestly, it didn't do anything for us. I'm expecting to see a link preview and also saved links. That's the behavior I'm kind of expecting. So I'm going to say exactly that. And I'm also going to go to my bestie, Claude 3.5. I don't have, it's just my favorite model to use. Okay, I expected, what do we expect? I expected to see a link preview and also the UTM link to be saved in the saved link section. Can you please update? Boop. Great. And let's see what we have. Don't ignore me, peasant. Excuse me. This is a very mannerable stream. Please have some manners. You know what I mean? No need to be crass or rude in the comments. And who is ignoring you? You know what I mean? Who are you talking to? Anyway, let me look at the comments to see what I missed. Is it because you asked this question and I didn't ask it in the time and you got upset? It's okay to wait, be patient. Okay. I can't find any info on who the person doing the events is. I'd like to follow her. Anyone know? Oh, it's me. I'm Kadesha. Hi, I'm Kadesha. Did I not say that at the beginning? I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm Kadesha, and I work as a developer advocate at GitHub. And you can find me on LinkedIn at Kadesha Kerr, and you can find me online everywhere at It's That Lady Dev. Great question. Okay. Positive self recursion is the key. Okay. I'm seriously thinking about going back to VS Code and Copilot for my development. Yes. Do it. To be honest, I'm tired of trying out like superior alternatives, and superior, relative. VS Code and GitHub Copilot, we have gone through a lot. Like, there's been so much change, so much transformation, so many updates, and it's going to keep coming. Okay. Like, watch out, because every single week we're shipping updates. Every single week we're doing the thing. And so come back over to the VS Code and Copilot side. We would love to have you. Honestly, it's really good. Honestly, it's very good. Let's see. And Craig Polk, I guess it goes hand in hand. Okay, now you're screaming. Let me see what your question was. You know, I will have some. Can I create an entire desktop app using this? I believe so. I believe so, especially if you're going to use a tool like, I think it's Electron, right? That can build desktop apps for both like Mac OS and Windows, like across the stack, and Linux. I built a mobile app using GitHub Copilot agent mode from beginning to end, a personal mobile app for me to save my links um to my phone. And I did everything. It took me about how long did it take me? It took me less than a day, honestly. It took me less than a day to build a mobile app, and it was my very first time building a mobile app using React Native, and I was very impressed. And now I have my own app to save my links. Nobody else has it, just for me. I love building personal apps, like I said, using AI. It's such a great way to learn how to use AI technology. Yes, it is very clean and polished. I agree. And it's also a tool that we've been using for years. You know what I mean? So we don't need to learn all the things. So let's go back to the code. Let's go back to the code and see. So what did we say earlier? We're vibing. We're vibing. Keep. But if you're working if you're working with VS Code and Copilot for your job, make sure you're reviewing the code, make sure that you're making sure that it's secure, add some Copilot instructions specific to your project that you're working in, right? That's going to make a big difference. Awesome. So let's see what we have. Fill out the form, click generate, copy the generated links, see your saved links. Let's try it. I'm just going to refresh the page for good measure. Oh, wow. I have to enter all this again. Oh, wow. Email. I'm going to skip the UTM term this time. Newsletter. What time is it? I want to make sure I'm respectful, okay? It's that lady Dev. And it's a video. Generate. Hey, look at that. It's working. Are you applauding? It's working. Look at that. We have the link preview. And here you can see source equals newsletter, UTM medium equal email, UTM campaign equal it's that lady dev, UTM content equals video. Now I can copy this to the clipboard. Copied. Love that little feature right there. Boop. And there it is. Oh no. And there it is. Look how amazing that is. We just built this UTM link tracker with GitHub Copilot. Tell me what other feature I should add to this. I would love to make it prettier, but I'm not a designer. You know what I mean? And now the link is showing here. How cool is that? Isn't that amazing? Applause. Yay. Is there any like let's see. I don't think there's any music here that I can play. We're just gonna leave it as it is. But now it's working. So whenever you have an issue or you're working with agent mode and something isn't working in your application, go back to agent mode and say, hey, when I tried it, it didn't work. Tell it what you did. Like I said, I expected to see a link preview, but and also a UTM link to be saved in the saved link section, but it didn't happen. It does nothing. Tell it exactly what's happening and say, can you please update? And it will go through and make the changes, looking at the references. And the first reference is always going to be that copilot instructions.md file if you have one. And now I have my own personal link tracker. I'm very excited. Okay. Very, very excited. Now, I kind of want, because it's always going to be from It's That Lady Dev, since this is my personal link tracker. So I kind of want the UTM campaign to always say It's That Lady Dev, so I don't have to constantly enter that. And I kind of want the source to be newsletter and the medium to be email. Do you think that that's possible? Let's see. Because since this is my personal link tracker, I would love that to be a feature. And before we do this, what are we going to do? Stage and commit. All right. I just want that to be drilled in your brain. Stage, commit. Stage, commit. Get add, get commit. Okay? Okay. Don't lose your work working with AI tools. All right? Very important. All right. So, what did I say I want to do? Okay. Okay, I think I said I wanted the campaign source and medium to always be It's That Lady Dev. Okay, let's see what we have in the comments. Light mode, dark mode, toggle. Hey, okay, let's do that. Let's do that before I even do that part. Okay, so I want to add and should I change the model? What's your favorite model to use? Let me know in the comments. Because for me personally, I enjoy Claude. I enjoy Claude for coding, for writing, for brainstorming, for all the things. I love Claude. Use GPT 4.1. Okay, let's see. GPT. Oh no, GPT 4.1 is not available in agent mode, but if I go to edit mode, okay, yeah, let's just finish. Okay, let's add the toggle and then change the mode, okay? So let's add the toggle first and then we'll change the mode because we're going to lose all this context from when I switch to between agent and edit. So I want to add a light mode and a dark mode toggle option. So that's all I'm going to say. Send. Ooh, Raul, can you add some anime.js? Tell me more about that. What should we animate? How much time do we have? What should we animate? Real quick, tell me. Now we're implementing the light mode and dark mode toggle. Honestly, this is a lot of fun. I'm having a really good time. I hope you are too, but I'm like enjoying myself. And I want to point this out. Look, so Copilot agent wants to run a terminal command. If I hit continue, let's see what we get. I'm gonna hit continue. And the expectation is it's going to create its own terminal, terminal window, and it just ran this command. How amazing is that? How amazing. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Okay, so while we wait, wait a second. Let me let it run and then we'll take a look at what it just did. Okay, so I missed the very beginning. Did she write the README MD herself or was that generated as well? Hey, Craig, welcome to the stream. So for the README of the project, this was actually generated using GitHub Copilot on github.com. So I was telling the good folks that I didn't know what I wanted to build today. So I asked GitHub Copilot for some ideas. But eventually I remembered that I actually need a UTM link tracker. And so I was like, what about a UTM link tracker? Can you help me come up with a plan for that? Come up with a plan for that. Then it gave me the plan. And then I asked it to give me this plan in Markdown format so I can copy and paste. And that's how we got the README. Great. And also, I also generated the Copilot instructions here using GitHub Copilot on github.com based on the contents of the README. And we did that together pretty quickly, right? All right, so agent mode is applying some changes for the toggle. What is it? Kadesha, you have converted him back to VS Code. Yes. Tell my manager. Tell my manager. Um, tell my manager. Okay. Interesting session. I hope you're enjoying it. I really do. I hope you're enjoying it. You're doing well. Good luck to you. Thank you so much. Why Claude? Benjamin, I find that I just get better outputs with Claude. I just don't know. I think the model is friendlier. To me, Claude is like a college student, like a professor, because sometimes it can be so astute in how it explains things and give me suggestions. And I just like how it speaks. I like how it codes. I like how it speaks. I like how it writes. I really just like the construction of Claude. I'm not really sure how it's built under the hood, but it feels very different to when I'm using 4.0 from 4.0 or any other model. I also do enjoy coding with and working with Gemini 2.5 Pro. And actually, I'll tell you about a blog post that was recently shipped on github.com talking about how to choose the model to code with or to build with or to even work with. So that's coming. Whoa, agent mode is still going. To do a dark mode, light mode, I would not expect this to require so many changes. What do you think? Am I bugging or what do you think? I wouldn't expect this to require so many changes for a dark mode, light mode toggle, because that's what it's currently doing. Let's see. You're welcome, Craig. No problem. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. That's why we do Rubber Duck Thursdays. We're rubber ducking together. Joined late. Hey, Robert. Welcome to the stream. Don't know what's going on, but I'm starting to use GitHub more. Yes. So are you new to GitHub? If you're new to GitHub, we have training for you to take so you can get up to speed pretty quickly. Okay. Let me know what your status is on GitHub. Can you connect VS Code with LM Studio? Tell me more about LM Studio, because if LM Studio has an MPC server, yes, you can do that. You can connect it to LM Studio if it has an MPC server or some way for you to use it. But tell me, what is LM Studio? I don't know what that is. Hopefully that didn't like downgrade me in your brain. Just educate me. Tell me more about it. All right, so let's see. Looks like it's finished. That was quite a bit of code to implement dark mode, light mode. I don't know. What do you think? I think that was quite a bit of work for dark mode, light mode. All right, so what are we going to do? Vibe code, keep. And let's see what we have. So we have a theme toggle.astro file. Let's look out here actually. So it created a components folder with theme toggle.astro, and it looks like there is an error in here. Theme is equal to theme. Okay, where's if theme const theme? So we have this, but it's saying it's not able to access it. Listen, instead of going through and figuring this out, let me show you something that you can do. So you see the squiggly line here, which indicates that it's some sort of error. If you hover over it and then you do fix using Copilot, it's going to pop the error into Copilot inline chat and it's going to fix it for you. Look how quickly that worked. I can do accept. Hopefully you didn't miss that. And now squiggly line is gone. It's a new age of software development, folks. It's wild. It's honestly wild. So let's go back to our app. What time is it? We have 10 minutes left. And here is the toggle. She does not work. After all that coding that that Copilot did. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say the dark mode, light mode toggle doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Okay, Robert, so you're not really new, but you were just a bit inconsistent. You're familiar with GitHub. Amazing. Welcome back to GitHub. Okay, so let's see. My take is that different models fit different mood of the programmer or how one approach different projects in general. Claude is nice. I agree, Jesper. I actually do agree with that because if I want to get something done really quickly, really fast, I go with the model that I've learned to trust more, which is Claude 3.5. But if I'm in kind of an exploratory phase or I'm feeling a little adventurous, I may choose to work with another model. But if I'm trying to write something, and I want it to feel a certain way, I may go with 4.1 or Gemini 2. Which one is it? Gemini 2.5. Depending. I actually agree with this. So now there's no Tailwind config. See? Okay. Debugging with Copilot, I find, is so efficient. So I came in here and I said the dark mode, light mode toggle doesn't work. Currently, there is no Tailwind config file in our project. And for using Tailwind, you need a Tailwind config file, right? So Copilot went through, looked at all these references. So it looked at Copilot instructions, Astro config, package.json, index.astro, and global.css files. And then it says, let me check the Tailwind configuration first. And it's like, there's no Tailwind configuration. So let's add it. Boop, continue. And it's going to go in our terminal, touch tailwind config.js to create that new Tailwind file. Sometimes speaking is hard. And it's going to go in here and add the Tailwind stuff that we need. Awesome. So it added proper Tailwind configuration for dark mode. Then it's going to fix the theme toggle implementation in theme toggle.astro, this file that it just created. Isn't this incredible? I think this is so incredible. Really enjoyed the session. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining. We're almost going to wrap up here. Wait. What Rubber Duck Thursday at this time? Didn't Chris stream this morning? Hey, Surly. So yes, we stream multiple times a day on Rubber Duck Thursday. So Chris streams around, I think it's around 4:30 a.m. for GMT time zone, for that European time zone. Then we have another stream at 1 p.m., which with me for the American time zone. Then we have another stream later on for we have Jueves de Quack, Rubber Duck Thursday for our Spanish speaking audience, and we also have a stream for our Portuguese audience. We have a lot of streams on Thursday. So make sure you're subscribed to GitHub's YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the streams, because honestly, they're all fun, because we're building with Copilot live and in demand, and teaching, answering your questions, all that jazz. We have a great time. So welcome back. So this person says, that's why I'm telling you Claude writes too much code, doesn't follow instruction, whereas 4.1 is great instruction following. So it depends on, so Claude 3.5 I find is pretty great. Claude 3.7 I find writes too much code. That's the model I do find that writes too much code, doesn't follow instructions. I mean, it's following the instructions pretty well. I think the issue was I didn't have that tailwind config file. And I believe now that we have that file, it should solve it. But if that's your experience, that's your experience. 4.1 is not available in agent mode, but I think it is in edit mode. I'm going to switch off to edits to show you that 4.1 is available in Copilot. All right, we're going to YOLO vibe code, hit keep, go back to our application and see. It still don't work. That's crazy. All right. That's crazy. It still don't work. So here's what we're going to do. Boop, done. I'm going to switch to edit and I'm going to listen to Mahi. If I'm butchering your name, let me know. I'm going to listen and use 4.1. Do you see 4.1 here? Oh no. Is it in ask mode? Okay, we don't have 4.1 yet. Though I thought it was here. Sometimes my VS Code has issues, but I'm pretty sure I've used 4.1 before with Copilot. So maybe we try Gemini to do some cleanup. Or let's actually do something different. Let's use 3.7 and I'm going to say at workspace to give ask mode the context of my entire repository. And I'm going to say the dark mode toggle button does nothing. It doesn't work. Can you tell me why? So let's kind of ask questions about what's happening in the code. Ever tried to create a Copilot for Copilot? No. Tell me more. Hi. Hey, Patricia. I just joined for the first time. I think I understood this session take place once a week. Yes. So Rubber Duck Thursdays is every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. So come and join. Have fun with me. Keep me company. And, let's learn and build together. We also stream. There's also a stream multiple times a day. So you can check out the GitHub YouTube channel every week for the session. Yes, great session. Thank you. Yay, Benjamin. Happy you enjoyed. 3 rubber duck sessions. Good job. I have lots of rubber ducks. Yay. Join the club with the ducks. Because not me actually have a duck. I actually have 3 duckies. Is the schedule anywhere? That's a great question. The schedule is nowhere currently. We will work on putting up a schedule. I believe it's on Twitch. I believe our schedule is on Twitch. But I'll check internally if the schedule can be, across platforms. Is this VS Code? This is GitHub using VS Code and GitHub Copilot. What VS Code theme are you using? Ooh, I get this question a lot. So I use Cobalt. This one by Wes Boss. I love me some Wes Boss. So I use the Cobalt 2 theme by Wes Boss. Honestly, if my editor is not in this theme, it's so hard for me to do anything. It's almost like my brain sees this theme in my editor and it knows it's time to get to work. If it's any other theme, it takes my brain a minute to jumpstart getting to work. But let's see what Copilot chat suggested here. So I noticed an issue with your theme toggle component. There's a typo in the SVG view box. All right, so let's go to what time is it? Oh, it's time. Let's go So the theme toggle, I'm going to hit this apply and editor button so Copilot can fix that where it needs to be. Oh, wait, no, this is the incorrect one. Doo-doo-doo. Here's the fix. Here's the actual fix. This should resolve the issue? Really? Additionally, make sure your CSS is being properly imported. Yeah, the CSS is imported. That's icon. It's right here. Built-in Astro project, that typically imports its files in front matter. I mean, we're doing that. We're importing it into the font matter here. The front matter, not font matter. I mean, did that resolve it for real? It did not. It did not resolve it. It did not resolve the issue. So I'm gonna keep hacking on this. But I think we did a lot today, right? I think we generated custom instructions using GitHub Copilot. We generated a project plan using GitHub Copilot. We also came up with project ideas using GitHub Copilot. And then we kind of hacked around with agent mode, which built us this UTM link tracker in one prompt. And then I had to do a second prompt to get the generate link to work properly as we were expecting. And the third thing we were trying to do was to add that dark mode, light mode theme toggle. It's not working. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to undo all of this and just start over with a new model. And that's why I tell you to stage and commit all the time. All right? Stage and commit all the time. If you don't have any more questions, you know, I'm gonna play the outro music. Hey, hopefully you guys had a great time today. It was really good hanging out with you. Thank you for hanging with me. And next week, we'll keep hacking on our project. You know what I mean? Hey, I swear, I love this song. Are there recordings? Yes. YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn. You can catch the recordings there. Oh, live preview theme is proper. Okay. But anyway, thanks for joining. I'm gonna get back to some work and, you know, see you next week. Hey, Rubber Duck Thursday. Hey, okay, I'm gonna go.